The bridal boutique's air conditioning hits my bare shoulders as I step inside, carrying 2 takeout coffees. Nora's already here, scrolling on her phone in the plush waiting area. Her face lights up when she sees me, and for a moment, I'm 8 years old again, watching my big sister get ready for prom. "There's my beautiful bride!" She springs up to hug me, careful not to spill the drinks. "I can't believe we're really at your final fitting." "I know. 6 days to go." I hand her the extra hot almond latte she always orders. "Thanks for coming with me this morning." The boutique assistant leads us back to the private fitting room, where my dress hangs like a ghost against cream wallpaper. As I slip behind the screen to change, Nora keeps talking. "I meant what I said at the engagement party, Laura. Family is everything. I'm so grateful we've stayed close, even after Mom and Dad." She trails off, and I hear her sip her coffee. Me too. I step out, holding my breath as the assistant starts doing up the buttons. "Though you've seemed a little distant lately. Everything okay?" "Just wedding stress, making sure your big day is perfect." Nora stands, circling me with a critical eye. "The dress is stunning. Mason won't know what hit him." Later that afternoon, I slip into the back pew at First Methodist for our weekly prayer circle. The familiar scent of furniture polish and old hymnals wraps around me as Sierra gathers everyone close. "Laura, we've been praying for your wedding preparations," Sierra chirps, patting the seat beside her. "Any special intentions today?" Maybe it's the burnt coffee still coating my tongue, or the way Nora brushed off my concern this morning, but suddenly I need to unburden myself. Actually, yes. I'm worried about Nora. She's my maid of honor, my only sister, but lately something feels off. The circle of women leans in, faces soft with concern. I tell them about Nora's mood swings, her cryptic comments about family loyalty, the way she sometimes looks right through me during wedding planning. "She's probably just processing all the changes," Sierra soothes, squeezing my hand. "We'll keep her in our prayers." That night, I'm soaking in the tub when my phone starts buzzing with notifications. The family group chat is exploding. Someone's forwarded screenshots of my prayer circle confession. Every word I said about Nora, now being dissected by aunts and cousins I haven't seen in years. My fingers shake as I scroll up. Sierra must have shared it with her daughter, who shared it with our cousin Amy, who didn't realize Nora was in the main family chat when she forwarded it. Nora. Wow. Interesting to hear what my sister really thinks of me. Aunt Patricia. "Girls, let's not do this over text." Nora. "No, please. Everyone share your concerns about my mood swings." I sink deeper into the cooling water, watching bubbles pop against my knees. The uneasy feeling in my stomach grows, but I force myself to type, "Me. It wasn't like that, Nora. I was just stressed and needed to talk." Nora. "To strangers at church instead of your own sister? Nice." The chat falls silent. I towel off and try calling Nora, but it goes straight to voicemail. She's probably right. I should have talked to her directly. But something about her reaction feels disproportionate, almost like she's been waiting for an excuse to be angry. Mason finds me still staring at my phone an hour later. "Everything okay?" "Just some drama with the prayer group. It'll blow over." I curl into his side, breathing in his clean laundry smell. Nora will calm down by tomorrow, but as I drift off to sleep, that nagging discomfort remains. Like I've missed something obvious, something important. Like the ground is shifting under my feet, and I'm the only one who doesn't know why. "Just use my laptop," Nora had said yesterday, tossing me her password. "The florist's invoice is in my email somewhere." Now I'm sitting at her kitchen counter, scrolling through endless threads while she's at yoga. The morning sun streams through her apartment windows, catching dust motes in its beam. Click, click, click. Nothing but wedding vendor spam and Netflix notifications. I open a new tab to check her downloads folder, and that's when I see it. An audio editing program minimized at the bottom of the screen. Probably from her marketing job, I think, moving the cursor to close it. But the file name catches my eye. EP47, Bridezilla bloopers shot final.mp3. My finger hovers over the mousepad. This is wrong. This is snooping. But something about that title. I click play. Welcome back to Sister Dearest, where we spill the hottest family tea. Nora's voice, pitched higher than normal, crackles through the speakers. I'm your host, N, and today we're continuing our saga of my little sister's Pinterest-perfect wedding. The blood drains from my face. Static buzzes in my ears as another voice joins in. Someone I don't recognize. So what's our precious bride done this week? Laughter. Nora's laugh. But wrong somehow. Sharp. Mean. Oh God, where do I start? She actually hired a calligrapher for the place cards. A calligrapher! Like we're hosting the royal family instead of Uncle Pete who'll be drunk by appetizers. My hands are trembling now. I minimize the window, maximize it again, like maybe I'm hallucinating. But Nora's voice continues, crystal clear. And don't get me started on her wedding dress appointments. Does this make me look princessy enough, Nora? Her mocking falsetto makes my stomach lurch. I just want everything to be perfect, Nora. Meanwhile, she's bleeding our inheritance dry on crystal champagne flutes while I'm the one managing all Dad's medical bills. What inheritance? What medical bills? Your listeners are living for this wedding drama, the co-host says. How many episodes has it been now? Started right after the engagement. 47 weeks of pure, unfiltered Bridezilla content. Nora's voice softens, turns conspiratorial. But next week's episode? That's going to be epic. I've got some serious dirt about her fiancé Mason that'll... I slam the laptop shut. My throat burns with bile. 47 weeks. Every Friday for 47 weeks, my sister has been broadcasting my life, my wedding planning, my private moments to thousands of strangers, making me a joke, making me small. My phone buzzes, a text from Nora. Almost done with yoga. Want to grab lunch? The screen blurs through my tears. I think about this morning, how I almost asked her opinion on my vows, how I was going to tell her first when Mason and I started trying for a baby. Another notification, a new email from Roland, the accountant Dad insisted on hiring before he died, something about irregularities in the trust fund distributions. The pieces clicked together with terrible clarity. The trust fund Dad left us to share. The one Nora's been managing, while I focused on the wedding. My fingers leave sweaty prints on Nora's pristine counter as I stand. The apartment suddenly feels too small, too full of her presence. Photos of us on the walls, sisters smiling arm in arm, all lies. I need air. I need to think. But first, I forward myself the podcast link and the suspicious account statements. My hands shake as I carefully return the laptop to its exact position, erasing all traces of my discovery. Outside, the summer air hits like a wall. I lean against Nora's building, pressing my forehead to the cool brick. A delivery guy gives me a concerned look as he passes. Everything okay, miss? I straighten up, wiping my eyes. Yes, I lie, tasting metal. Everything's perfect. My phone buzzes again. Nora, asking where I want to meet for lunch. I stare at her message, at the little heart emoji she's added at the end, and something shifts inside me. Something hard and cold and certain. I start typing, actually, I'm not feeling well. Rain check. Mason's soft snores drift from our bedroom as I huddle on the living room couch, wrapped in Dad's old wool throw. The scratchy fabric against my neck grounds me as I stare at my laptop screen, piecing together Nora's betrayal. Can't sleep, Valerie texts at 2 a.m. Working on something. Call, she answers on the first ring. Talk to me. I take a shaky breath. Remember how you said something felt off about Nora's reaction to the prayer group thing? Yeah? I found her podcast. My voice cracks. She's been mocking me online for almost a year, but that's not even the worst part. I pull up the spreadsheet Roland sent over. Numbers swim before my eyes as I explain about Dad's trust fund, the joint account Nora insisted on managing, to make things easier. How much? Valerie asks quietly. Over 200,000. Small withdrawals at first, then bigger ones after I got engaged. She marked them as venue deposits, vendor payments, but I've got all the real receipts. None of the amounts match. The candle beside me gutters, sending shadows dancing across the wall. I'd lit it hours ago, seeking comfort in its vanilla scent. But now the flame just reminds me of how long I've been at this. And get this, I continue, scrolling through Nora's podcast scripts. She's been hiding coded messages in the episode titles. Bridezilla bloopers is actually BB, Bahamas bound. Wedding wine tasting is WWWT, winter wellness trip. She's been using my wedding as cover for luxury vacations. Jesus, Laura. Valerie's voice is thick with anger. Have you told Mason? Not yet. I needed to be sure first. I take a sip of water, but my mouth stays desert dry. I've got all her login information. Banking, social media, podcast hosting site. She used the same password for everything. Dad's birthday. The irony makes me want to scream. Dad's birthday. Like she has any right to use that when she's stealing the money he left us. What are you going to do? The question hangs in the air as I open another browser tab. Nora's latest podcast episode is trending in the wedding humor category. The comments make my stomach turn. OMG, dying at the Bridezilla's crystal obsession. Your sister sounds like such a basic bitch. Can't wait for next week's tea about the groom. Hot rage floods my chest. The blue light from my screen burns my tired eyes, but I keep reading, cataloguing every insult, every betrayal. Laura! Valerie prompts. I'm going to destroy her. The words come out calm, certain. Not just expose her, destroy her. She wants to turn my wedding into entertainment? Fine. I'll give her a finale she'll never forget. The reception is in 5 days, Valerie says slowly. What's the plan? I pull up my wedding timeline, created months ago in my neat spreadsheet. Each cell represents a moment I thought would be perfect, precious. Now each one is an opportunity. First, I need you to contact Leo, the AV guy. Tell him there's been a change to the reception program. My fingers fly across the keyboard, making notes. Then I need you to get Sierra from the prayer group on board. She owes me after the group chat leak. And Nora? She gets to play her part perfectly. The loving sister, the proud maid of honor. I save the login credentials to a secure folder. Right up until the moment she isn't. You're scary when you're strategic, Valerie says, but I hear the smile in her voice. Need me to come over? No, I've got this. The candle finally sputters out, leaving me in the harsh glow of the laptop. But Val, thank you for believing me. Always. After we hang up, I stay on the couch, clutching Dad's throw. The wool still smells faintly of his aftershave. I wonder what he'd think of all this. His daughters, his money, his legacy. I'm sorry, Dad, I whisper to the dark. But she started this war. I'm just going to finish it. Dawn starts creeping through the windows. In a few hours, I'll have to face Nora at our final venue walkthrough, pretending everything's fine. My jaw aches from clenching it, but I force myself to smile, practicing my poker face. After all, the show must go on. The metal folding chair creaks as I shift position, trying to focus on Sierra's voice leading our prayer circle. My thin summer dress offers no protection from the cold metal, but the discomfort helps keep me present. keeps me from screaming. "Let us pray for those carrying heavy burdens," Sierra intones, her bangles jingling as she clasps her hands. "Those who need guidance, strength, and wisdom." Beside me, Mrs. Peterson dabs her eyes with a tissue. Across the circle, young Katie from the choir stares at her shoes. We're all carrying something, I suppose. My phone buzzes in my purse, probably another message from Nora about tomorrow's rehearsal dinner. "Laura," Sierra says warmly, "would you like to share any special intentions? The big day's almost here." My fingers dig into my palms. I think of Nora's podcast, her mocking laughter, the trust fund bleeding dry. Just grateful for everyone's support, I manage. More phones buzz. The familiar notification sound echoes around the circle as women reach for their devices. Sierra frowns, about to remind everyone about our no phones policy, when Mrs. Peterson gasps. "Oh dear Lord." Katie's face goes pale. Who would... I pull out my own phone. The family chat has exploded again, but this time it's not just my confessions being shared. Screenshots upon screenshots of prayer circle conversations flood the group. Mrs. Peterson's struggles with her son's addiction, Katie's crisis of faith after her miscarriage, private moments of vulnerability, now exposed to dozens of relatives and church members. "I trusted you people," Mrs. Peterson chokes out, gathering her purse with trembling hands. The lavender incense smoke seems to follow her as she hurries from the room. Sierra stands, her face ashen. "Please, everyone stay calm. We'll figure out what?" Katie's voice cracks. How all our prayers ended up in a family group chat. How everything we've shared in confidence is just entertainment now. The word hits me like a slap. Entertainment. Just like Nora's podcast, turning private pain into public spectacle. My phone buzzes again. Nora. "OMG. Did you see all this drama?" The emoji makes my stomach turn. I watch her typing bubble appear and disappear as the chat explodes with reactions. She's enjoying this, I realize. She's always enjoyed this. Other people's secrets, other people's shame. "I think someone's daughter must have accessed the prayer request journal," Sierra says weakly. "We keep it in the church office for reference." "Reference?" Katie stands abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. "Those were private prayers, personal struggles, not some soap opera for bored housewives to gossip about. More women are leaving now, murmuring in distressed clusters. The incense smoke hangs heavy in the air, no longer soothing, but suffocating. My phone keeps buzzing with notifications, but I can't look away from Sierra's face, the dawning horror as she realizes how badly she's failed her flock. "Laura," she catches my arm as I start to leave. "I am so sorry about last week, about your confession getting shared. I never thought..." "It's fine." My voice sounds distant to my own ears. "Actually, Sierra, I need a favor." She blinks, surprised. "Anything." "I need access to that prayer journal, and I need you to help me with something at the reception." "After all this, Laura, I don't think..." "Trust me." I cut her off, steel in my voice. It's time someone faced consequences for betraying confidences. Don't you agree? She studies my face for a long moment. Behind us, Katie is still arguing with the remaining women, her voice thick with tears. The air conditioning kicks on with a rattle, dispersing the last of the incense. "What do you need?" Sierra asks finally. I smile, though it feels more like baring teeth. "Let's talk somewhere private, away from phones and forwarded messages and..." I glance meaningfully at the scattered prayer circle. Prying ears. As we walk to her office, my phone buzzes one last time. Nora again. "Can't wait to see you at rehearsal tomorrow, sis. Everything's going to be perfect." Perfect, I think, tucking my phone away. But not in the way you expect. Mum's recipe calls for more zest, Nora says, leaning over my shoulder as I grate lemons in my kitchen. The citrus oils sting my nose, sharp and bright. You always were stingy with it, just trying not to make it too bitter. I keep my voice light, casual. My phone sits propped against the cookbook stand, its red recording light hidden behind a bag of flour. Valerie shoots me a look as she creams butter and sugar. We'd staged this pre-wedding baking session carefully, a perfect opportunity to let Nora incriminate herself. Speaking of bitter, Nora continues, dipping a finger into the batter, did you hear about the drama at your prayer group? People are still blowing up the family chat. I concentrate on zesting, letting the silence stretch. Though honestly, Nora licks batter off her finger. Some of those confessions were juicy, like, who knew sweet little Katie had such secrets? Valerie's mixing spoon clatters against the bowl. That was private information. Oh, please, nothing's private anymore. Nora reaches for more batter. Everyone's got a podcast or a blog these days. At least I keep things anonymous on my show. My hand freezes on the grater. Did she just... Your show? I ask carefully. My marketing podcast. For work. Nora's recovery is smooth, but I catch the flicker of panic in her eyes. Speaking of work, thanks for letting me handle the trust fund stuff. Dad would be proud of how I've grown the investments. The lie tastes sour in the air. I think of the bank statements hidden in my bedroom, the screenshots of her luxury hotel bookings. You'll have to show me the portfolio sometime, I say, measuring vanilla extract. After the honeymoon. Of course, though you've got enough on your plate with wedding expenses. She bumps my hip playfully. Those crystal champagne flutes weren't cheap, exactly like she'd mocked on episode 47. I pour the vanilla with steady hands, letting her dig her own grave. Money well spent, Valerie interjects, her tone carefully neutral. Everything's going to be perfect. Absolutely perfect. Nora's smile doesn't reach her eyes, though Mason seemed stressed at the last planning meeting. Everything okay with you two? We're great. I scrape lemon zest into the batter. Why? No reason. Just heard things. What kinds of things? Oh, you know. She waves vaguely. People talk, especially at that church of yours. My phone keeps recording as I combine wet and dry ingredients. The mixer's whir almost drowns out Nora's next words. Though I suppose some secrets should stay secret, for family's sake. I turn off the mixer. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Nora's laugh tinkles like breaking glass. Just thinking out loud. This batter needs more sugar. She reaches for the bowl again, but Valerie slides it away. It's perfect as is. The kitchen falls quiet, except for the soft tick of the oven preheating. Sunlight streams through the window, catching the sugar crystals scattered across the counter. They glitter like broken promises. Remember when we used to bake with Mum? Nora asks suddenly. You always wanted to lick the spoon, but I'd get there first. I remember. I pour batter into the pan, watching it spread like secrets. You were always one step ahead. That's what big sisters are for. She pulls me into a sticky hug. I'm so excited for your big day, Laura. I've got the most amazing maid of honor speech planned. Over her shoulder, I meet Valerie's worried gaze. My phone keeps recording, capturing every word, every fake laugh, every subtle threat. Can't wait to hear it, I say, patting Nora's back with flour-covered hands. I'm sure it'll bring down the house. She pulls back, beaming. That's the plan. The oven beeps its readiness. As I slide the cake in, the warm, sweet smell fills the kitchen. But underneath, there's that bitter note of extra zest. Just like Nora wanted. Perfect timing, I say, closing the oven door. Just like everything else will be. Nora grabs her purse, still licking sugar from her fingers. Gotta run. Final dress fitting this afternoon. Love you, sis. After she leaves, Valerie lets out a long breath. Did you get all that? I pick up my phone, stopping the recording. Every last crumb. The ballroom echoes with the scrape of chairs being arranged, each sound amplified by the high ceilings. I inhale deeply. Roses, furniture polish, and that peculiar new glue smell from the recently reupholstered seats. Everything gleams, waiting for tomorrow. Testing, testing. Leo's voice crackles through the speakers. He gives me a thumbs up from the sound booth. Want to hear the clips again? I nod, gripping my rehearsal dinner speech cards. The first audio file starts playing. Nora's podcast voice, tinny and cruel, filling the empty space. And my pathetic little sister actually thinks her fiancé. Cut it there, I call out, my skin prickling. That's the perfect spot. Can you sync it with slide 14? Leo adjusts some settings on his laptop. Already done. The transition will be seamless. No one will see it coming. Perfect. I watch the staff arranging white roses, their thorns carefully stripped. Unlike my plan, I'm keeping all my thorns. Laura? Mason's voice makes me jump. He's early for the rehearsal, looking concerned. Can we talk? I signal Leo to take a break and meet Mason by the grand windows. The setting sun paints everything golden, almost making me forget what I'm about to do. Valerie told me some of it, he says quietly. About Nora's podcast, the trust fund. My chest tightens. How much did she tell you? Enough to know you're planning something for tomorrow. He takes my hands, warm and steady. Talk to me. I glance around, but we're alone in this corner. I'm going to expose her. During the reception, I have recordings, bank statements, everything. At our wedding. His thumb traces circles on my palm. Laura, are you sure? She's been stealing from us for months, I cut in, mocking us online, planning to spread rumors about you in her next episode. What better karma than using her own voice to destroy her? Mason looks at the setup around us. The perfect tables, the gleaming dance floor, all the pieces I've arranged so carefully. I trust you, he says finally. But promise me one thing? What? Don't tell me the details. I want to be surprised with everyone else. A small smile plays at his lips. And I want plausible deniability when your sister tries to blame me. I stretch up to kiss him, breathing in his familiar cologne. Deal. Places, everyone. The wedding planner's voice rings out. Rehearsal starting in 5 minutes. Leo catches my eye from the sound booth, pointing to his headset. I give him a subtle nod. Everything's ready. The bridal party starts filtering in. Valerie arranges herself with the other bridesmaids, her face carefully neutral as Nora sweeps in last, radiant in her maid of honor dress. Sorry I'm late, Nora chirps, air-kissing my cheek. Traffic was insane. Oh, doesn't everything look amazing? The furniture polish smell suddenly feels suffocating. I watch my sister arrange herself at the front, practicing her camera-ready smile, and think of all the times she's performed this role. The devoted sister, the trusted confidant. Let's run through the entrance and speeches, the planner calls out. Laura, want to practice your toast? I step up to the microphone, cards in hand. The standard bride's speech sits on top, all love and gratitude and family bonds. Underneath, hidden between the pages, is tomorrow's real speech, the one that will change everything. To my dearest sister, I begin, my voice steady, who's always been one step ahead. Nora beams, dabbing imaginary tears. In the sound booth, Leo runs through his checks, each light on his console glowing like a promise. The sun sets fully as we run through our paces, casting long shadows across the polished floor. Tomorrow these shadows will be filled with guests, with music, with moments Nora thinks she can predict. Perfect timing on the toast, the planner says afterward. Very touching. Thanks. I gather my cards, catching Valerie's eye. I've been practicing for a long time. Nora hugs me goodbye, whispering, just wait until you hear my speech tomorrow. I hug her back, holding on perhaps a second too long. Oh, I can't wait, I say softly. It's going to be unforgettable. The champagne bubbles tickle my nose as I stand, my white dress rustling. The reception is perfect, exactly as planned, from the crystal flutes Nora mocked to the roses perfuming the air. 200 faces turn toward me, expectant. I'd like to propose a toast, I say into the microphone, my voice carrying across the ballroom. To my sister, my maid of honor, my best friend. Nora raises her glass, radiant in blush pink. She's already delivered her speech, a masterpiece of fake sincerity that had half the room crying. Nora has always been there for me. I meet her eyes. Always one step ahead. Always recording life's special moments. Leo's hand moves to his console. The lights dim slightly. In fact, I continue, she's been recording quite a lot lately. Would you like to hear? Confusion flickers across Nora's face as her own voice fills the room. Welcome back to Sister Dearest, where we spill the hottest family tea. The champagne flute slips from her fingers, shattering on the parquet floor. Gasps ripple through the crowd as her podcast plays on, each cruel laugh echoing off the cream and gold walls. That's not... Nora starts to stand, but Valerie's hand clamps onto her shoulder. But wait, I say softly. There's more. The audio switches to our kitchen conversation. Nora bragging about investments, making veiled threats. Then the prayer group leaks, her gleeful messages about others' pain. The evidence builds like a wave, each revelation punctuated by the clatter of dropped silverware and shocked murmurs. And the money? I turn to face her fully. Would you like to explain where Dad's trust fund went? The Bahamas, Switzerland. Roland steps through the ballroom doors, manila envelope in hand. The draft from the hallway carries the scent of approaching storm. The forensic audit is complete, he announces, his voice carrying in the stunned silence. I have documentation of systematic fraud and embezzlement totaling... Shut up! Nora shoves away from the table. This is ridiculous! Laura, what are you doing? Getting ahead for once. 2 police officers enter behind Roland, their badges catching the light. Nora's face drains of color as she realizes what's happening. You can't! This is your wedding! Exactly. I set down my glass with a decisive clink. And I wanted all our closest friends and family here to witness it. Everyone who's been listening to your podcast, forwarding those prayer group messages, enabling your little games. The officers move forward as Roland continues listing charges. Nora looks wildly around the room, finding no allies in the sea of shocked faces. Mum and Dad would be ashamed of you, she spits. No, I say calmly. They'd be ashamed of how long I let you get away with it. She makes a break for the side door, but Valerie and Sierra step into her path. The officers reach her just as thunder rumbles outside. Laura Marie Perkins, Nora shrieks as they take her arms. You'll regret this. It's Laura Marie Dean now, I correct her, and the only thing I regret is trusting you in the first place. The ballroom doors swing wide as they lead her out. Her pink dress catches the light one last time before she disappears, leaving behind only the echo of handcuffs clicking shut. Mason appears at my side, sliding his warm hand into mine. You okay? I look around at our guests, some crying, some furiously typing on phones, all processing what they've witnessed. The crystal champagne flutes sparkle innocently in the chandelier light. I've never been better. I squeeze his hand, though I think we might need to rearrange the seating chart for dinner. A surprised laugh ripples through the crowd, breaking the tension. The band, professional to the core, strikes up a gentle melody. Should we? Mason gestures to the dance floor. In a minute. I turn back to our guests, lifting my glass one more time. To truth, I say clearly. To justice, and to karma. The remaining glasses raise in response, their crystal song pure and clean. Outside, the storm breaks at last, rain washing everything new. The band plays on, but conversations buzz through the ballroom like angry wasps. I stand near the head table, fingers tracing the lace edge of my veil, while relatives approach in awkward waves. "We had no idea," Aunt Patricia stammers, wine sloshing in her shaking glass. "All those prayer group messages she forwarded. You thought it was entertaining," I finish for her. "Everyone did." She retreats, face flushed. The air feels thick with spilled champagne and uncomfortable truths. Mason works the room smoothly, thanking guests for coming, redirecting attention to the cake cutting ahead. My phone vibrates. The family group chat, of course. Sierra. "On behalf of the prayer circle, we are deeply sorry for our role in enabling." Katie. "Maybe we should all delete this chat." Mrs. Peterson. "Agreed. Too much damage done." I silence the notifications. Their guilt isn't my problem anymore. Valerie appears with a fresh glass of water. "Roland says the DA will contact you Monday about pressing charges." "Good." I watch the ice cubes shift and settle. Did they get her phone? And her laptop. Everything. She hesitates. "Do you want to know what she said? When they were leading her out?" I shake my head. The stillness inside me feels like frost, creeping through my veins. I don't need to hear any more of her voice. The wedding planner flutters over, schedule in hand. "Should we move up the father-daughter dance? Given the circumstances?" "There won't be one," I remind her. "Dad's gone. That's partly why she—" My throat closes unexpectedly. "Just skip to the cake." Mason returns, sliding his arm around my waist. His cologne mixes with the lingering scent of nervous sweat and roses. "Parents are asking if we want to postpone the honeymoon. Give you time to deal with the legal stuff." "No." The word comes out sharp, certain. "We're leaving tonight as planned. Nora doesn't get to take that too." Across the room, the staff discreetly clears away her place setting, removing all traces of the maid of honor who wasn't. The empty chair looks like a missing tooth in an otherwise perfect smile. "Laura?" Sierra approaches cautiously, hands twisted together. "The prayer group wanted to give you this early." She holds out a small envelope. "It's not much, but I don't want it." The ice in my voice matches the frost in my chest. "Your prayers didn't help before. They won't help now." She nods, backing away. The envelope trembles in her hand. "Cake time," the planner announces brightly. "Places, please." Mason and I move through the motions, cutting, feeding, smiling for photos. The cake is lemon, Mom's recipe. I wonder if it tastes as bitter to everyone else as it does to me. "You did the right thing," Valerie whispers as guests line up for slices. "She gave you no choice." "I know." I watch Mason charm our grandmothers, his smile genuine even after everything. But right doesn't mean easy. My phone buzzes again. A text from Roland. "Police found evidence of other fraud victims. You're not alone. Call Monday." Of course. Nora would never limit herself to just one target, one podcast, one betrayal. The frost inside me hardens into something like resolve. "Ready to dance?" Mason returns, holding out his hand. The band starts our song, the one Nora mocked in episode 39. I take his hand, letting him lead me to the floor. "Having regrets?" he asks softly as we sway. I think about the trust fund, now frozen pending investigation. The podcast episodes, soon to be evidence. The sister who chose cruelty over loyalty. Entertainment over love. No regrets, I say, resting my head on his shoulder. Just clarity. Around us, guests gradually join the dance, the momentum of celebration overtaking scandal. My wedding dress swishes against the floor, each crystal catching light like truth finally breaking through lies. Tomorrow, there will be statements to give, charges to file, pieces to pick up. But tonight, I dance with my husband, surrounded by people who choose to stay, to support, to see clearly. It's not the perfect wedding I planned. It's better. It's honest. And honesty, even when it hurts, is the only foundation worth building on.